His father was an illustrious general, controlling millions of elite troops right in his hands, yet Michael resolutely severed their father-son relationship. He even voluntarily walked away from the family's billion-dollar fortune. No one in the family could understand why. They simply wanted him to hand over all of his military merits to his younger brother. Was that really more important than him losing his status as the eldest young master of the May family? But what they didn't know, Michael was already the supreme marshal of the empire. Could someone, pampered since childhood, like that utterly useless little brother of his, have the real capability to shoulder those military merits? Right then, Simon May, who sat at the head of the dinner table, finally broke the heavy silence, speaking up. "Got any plans for your return this time?" Michael replied, completely unfazed. "No plans at all. I will just settle some personal matters, then I head back to the military zone." Hearing this, his father pondered for a moment, then deeply frowned, and said, "Do not go back to the military for now, since you are back. Stay at home." Michael looked at him, slightly puzzled. "Why?" Simon did not hide it. "Either your little brother is about to participate in the upcoming military exam. I want to promote him to the rank of major in the military department. This requires some solid military achievements to support it." Michael intentionally fired back. "So what? What exactly does this have to do with me returning to the military zone?" "Or not?" Simon glared at him, looking visibly displeased. "Hand over all the military merits you have achieved over the past 3 years to your younger brother. After that, you can just go to your mother's company and help out." Even though Michael had some basic understanding of this body's parents from his memories, watching their true colors unfold right now, you and I both know it's hard to believe. Another person standing nearby, his sister Vivian May, let out a cold snort. "Working there, you will probably just be a security guard. Anyway, after 3 years in the army, your physical stamina really should not be bad, right?" Hearing her mock him, Bradley May, his younger brother, also let out a highly disdainful laugh. Seeing Michael stay perfectly silent, Simon spoke up again. "I heard you achieved quite a few decent merits in the military zone, but in terms of actual martial arts talent, you are completely inferior to your little brother. Since it is like this, you might as well hand over those merits to him. That way, he smoothly enters the 10 Great Academies. The May family's position here in Northbrook will also become much more secure." Hearing this garbage, Michael could not help but laugh out loud, but that smile was dripping with pure sarcasm. With his current military rank and achievements, even this utterly useless father of his would have to salute him right now. Would he really dare to accept his salute? Thinking of this, Michael's eyes turned freezing cold. Give his merits away? No way in hell. 3 years ago, he risked everything enlisting in Bradley's place. Was that not enough? Sensing the absolute coldness in his words, Simon was slightly surprised. He really did not expect anyone in this Northbrook province would actually dare to defy him, let alone his own flesh and blood. Recovering his senses, Simon smiled back, but his expression was full of sheer contempt. "Michael May, do not think that being a lowly soldier for a few years gives you the right to decide your own life. If I had not dragged you back from the slums 10 years ago, you would have died a long time ago. I do not mind speaking frankly. Your whole existence is to pave the way for Bradley. I gave you everything, and I can easily take it all away." Hearing his father's vicious threat, Michael wasn't even slightly angry. Actually, on the contrary, his heart felt completely relieved. He used to always wonder why the body's original owner tried so insanely hard to get recognized by this toxic family. Turns out he hadn't even grown up with the May family anyway, and right now, Michael felt that heavy emotional knot in his heart finally untie. His entire body relaxed completely. He stared back and replied coldly, "So it turns out this was your twisted plan from the very start." Simon didn't answer, but the bulging veins on his forehead said enough. He looked terrifyingly furious. Simon never expected that his obedient little puppet of a son would suddenly dare to openly rebel. Against him, Michael may hand over your military merits to your brother. When he takes over Northbrook someday, do you honestly think he'd dare mistreat you, his own older brother? Plus, when he enters the 10 Great Academies, his entire future will be totally limitless. He might even reach Marshal Saint level someday. As his older brother, shouldn't you feel proud? We are settling it right now. Michael couldn't care less about this pathetic rant. His cold gaze shifted to Lily, asking, "So my dear mother, is this exactly what you want too?" Lily stayed dead silent for a heavy second before finally whispering, "Michael, I know this whole situation is somewhat unfair to you, but if you just give your merits to your brother, we will absolutely compensate you." Michael just nodded, his voice dangerously calm. "If that's the case, I am leaving. From now on, your precious May family and I have absolutely zero connection whatsoever. You absolute disappointment." Simon violently slammed the table, leaping up in pure rage. "You dare speak such treasonous garbage?" And right as those words fell, an insane aura erupted. He threw a deadly palm strike straight at Michael. A strike packing peak Grandmaster power. Stick with me here, because Michael easily dodged it without breaking a sweat. Impossible. Simon was completely stunned and furious. Even a true Grandmaster would struggle to dodge that attack. How could you move like that? Michael didn't give his shocked father a second to process. He turned and walked, the so-called favor of bringing him into the May family. He fully repaid that debt 3 years ago. From today onwards, they were nothing but complete strangers. As he left, Simon May stared at his sons retreating back, pure killing intent flashing in his eyes. His voice went totally icy. "Do you honestly think playing soldier for a few years makes you untouchable? This time I am going to prove that, without the May family backing you, you are absolutely nothing." Meanwhile, Lily's eyes showed a deeply complicated emotion. For some odd reason, she felt like she had just permanently lost Michael, but suddenly snapping back to reality. Simon May quickly turned to glare at Bradley May and Vivian May. "Neither of you is allowed to help that boy behind my back. Is that perfectly clear?" Both hurriedly nodded in fear. Bradley cautiously asked, "Father, what about those military merits?" Simon thought for a quick second and replied completely indifferently, "You don't need to stress over the merits. Those were meant for you anyway. Nobody is going to steal them," because in Simon's twisted mind, Bradley was the one true heir here. 3 years ago, Simon had personally rigged the enlistment list, adding Bradley's name. The whole goal was to quickly stack up easy military merits so Bradley could return as a hero and inherit the commander-in-chief title. But since he was too scared to send precious Bradley into danger, you guessed it, he used Michael instead. Younger brother's place in the army. So for 3 long years, our guy had fought under Bradley May's identity, hearing his father's proud words. The real Bradley clenched his fists, totally hyped up. "Father, rest easy. I'm definitely getting into the top 10 academies. Haha, perfect. That's the true heir of the May family. You are 100 times better than that useless, rebellious older brother. The family's martial arts legacy will be carried by you alone. Then I'll head back to my room and train right now, guaranteeing a flawless exam score." Validated by his dad, Bradley's entire mood peaked, his voice practically vibrating with excitement. Watching his golden boy head back to train, Simon May immediately snapped a new order. "Prepare a massive banquet in 2 days. Tell everyone the son who enlisted 3 years ago is finally back. And while you're at it, announce the promotion of Bradley May to military major." Meanwhile, our guy walked the streets, feeling completely relieved. Even though he had transmigrated to this new world 3 years ago, his heart had always been trapped by the original body owner's obsession. Coming back home this time, finally seeing his fake parents' true colors, that invisible binding rope just naturally snapped. But visiting the toxic May family wasn't even his main objective today. He had way bigger things to handle. Right at that very moment, his cell phone started ringing. The caller, General Harrison from the Eastern Military Zone. Currently, they held the exact same rank, both commanding elite armies. Has Bradley headed home for his visit yet. A deep, middle-aged voice asked from the other line. I already dropped by, our guy replied, even though they were equals on paper now. Harrison used to be his superior, so calling him General Harrison was just showing proper respect. Sure enough, hearing that polite tone, Harrison laughed out loud. Bradley, you are literally a military chief now. No need for all that formal stuff. Just calling me Old Harrison is perfectly fine. I won't mind it at all. Hearing this, he felt genuine warmth. When he first joined the front lines, General Harrison really looked out for him. The guy even favored him by funneling massive amounts of martial arts resources his way. Our guy had always been deeply grateful for that. Harrison didn't drag out the small talk, quickly getting straight to the point. I've arranged everything on your end. The Turner family, martial arts family based over in Northbrook Province, once saved a severely injured Grandmaster. They are ready to assist you at any given time. Thank you, General Harrison, he replied smoothly. If that's the case, I'll head out there right now. Hearing this, Harrison immediately caught onto something weird. It's super late, did something happen? Hiding his emotions, our MC shook his head. Nothing. General Harrison hesitated for a second. It's not that your dad wouldn't let you leave, right? Don't be an ungrateful punk to me. To help you out, I've invested some serious capital. If you dare ditch this, I will personally fly down to Northbrook tonight. You see, in Harrison's eyes, our MC was a prime seed to become a marshal saint. Reaching that insane tier was just a matter of time. So, over the past 3 years, he funneled all the top-tier martial arts rewards from the Eastern military zone into cultivating him. Our guy smiled bitterly. Rest assured, General Harrison, after I finish up, I will head straight back to the military zone. The other end was dead silent for a long moment before Harrison finally sighed. All right, give me your current location. Our main character would handle the arrangements. Meanwhile, over at the Eastern War Zone Command Headquarters, a middle-aged man in full military uniform, looking absolutely heroic, slams his phone down, his eyes literally burning with absolute rage. Vincent. Get over here, General Harrison roars. Standing right before him, Vincent is trembling, sweating buckets. General Harrison, the furious general, grabs a file from his desk and hurls it straight at Vincent's head. Bradley May, turns out. He is the second son of the Northbrook May family. I am just finding this out now. Do you have any idea how much cash I dropped on him? Vincent's brain feels like it is short-circuiting. He stammers in absolute panic. General Harrison, I had no clue either. Bradley May came to the Eastern Military Zone and kept his mouth shut. General Harrison goes ice cold. Perfect. Simon May, that sly old fox, really played me, making me raise his own son for him. He shoots up from his chair. I am heading to Northbrook personally. Vincent nervously wipes the cold sweat off his forehead. General Harrison, why exactly are you going to Northbrook? The furious general snaps back. To get my guy back. Obviously, Simon May is either going to hand him over right now or refund every single dime I spent over the years making me raise his kid in his dreams. Meanwhile, over with our main character. After hanging up the call, he is just chilling by the road, completely clueless about the absolute chaos exploding back at military headquarters. And honestly, his fake name, Bradley May, he does not even care about it. Suddenly, screeching tires echo out. A sleek black sedan pulls up right beside him. Excuse me, are you General May? A tall, stunning girl looking incredibly elegant steps out of the ride. He just gives a small nod. Yeah, I am. The girl stands up straighter, pure shock flashing right across her eyes. This guy in front of her, early 20s at best, seeing a military general at this age in the martial arts scene is literally unheard of. Realizing she is staring, she quickly snaps back to reality. Hello, General May, my name is Jessica, disciple of Master Turner. My master actually sent me to personally pick you up. The Turner family, he remembers them instantly. The Turner family is a massive martial arts powerhouse in Northbrook. He definitely did not expect General Harrison to pull strings and get the old Turner master to treat him From what he remembers, this legendary old master has been hiding in seclusion for years. Since that is the case, let's go, he replies, hopping right into the car. As long as he fixed the weird issue inside his body, he could finally leave Northbrook behind forever. Soon enough, they pull up to a massive manor gate. General May, please rest. Here today, tomorrow my grandfather will visit. He gives a simple nod. Thanks for the trouble, following Jessica straight into the guest room. She smiles, get some rest, I will not bother you anymore. Jessica honestly didn't expect this hardcore general to be so polite. After showing him inside, she leaves. He really doesn't think too much about it. He just washes up and crashes for the night. The very next morning, before he even opens his eyes, massive news is already blowing up across Spirit Vale City. The May family is throwing a huge celebration banquet for their son, returning from the front lines, while simultaneously announcing the official promotion of Bradley May to major, a major under 20. You and I know that is an absolute bombshell hitting Spirit Vale. Meanwhile, at that exact same time over in the Eastern Military Zone, General Harrison just got the latest updates from Northbrook. It is early morning, but listening to his subordinates report, the more Harrison hears, the deeper his frown gets. His expression turns completely grim. You are telling me Simon May actually plans to promote Bradley to major, the division commander reporting to him also frowns. The news is absolutely confirmed. I even sent my own people to the May family to verify it. General Harrison just cannot understand this. Bradley is literally a general right now. How does he become a major? Did his rank actually get demoted? He stops guessing and snaps at his adjutant. Make the arrangements immediately. I must go to Northbrook right now. Now, let us check in on Bradley, who still has no idea about the news the May family just dropped. After a quick wash, he sits down for breakfast, and right as he finishes eating, Jessica walks in with a white-haired elder. General May, my master has arrived. Bradley quickly stands up, greeting him with pure respect. Old Master Turner, you are here so early today. Old Arthur Turner just smiles and waves it off. You are far too polite, young friend, since General Harrison personally set this up. How could an old man like me ever refuse? Bradley smiles back and gestures to the chair. Please take a seat, sir. Arthur Turner sits down on the sofa, staring right at him. Young friend, let me see your hand so I can check your pulse. Bradley nods, holding out his right arm. Just a second later, pure shock flashes across Arthur Turner's face. You are incredibly lucky, kid. If that toxin had reached your heart, absolutely no one on earth could have managed to save your life. Bradley looks at the old master dead serious. Sir, is there any way to wipe it out completely? Arthur Turner gives a slow nod. Yes, but this injury has been rotting inside you for 2 weeks. The poison is deep. It will take roughly 10 days to fully cleanse it. Hearing those words, Bradley lets out a massive sigh of relief. Then I leave my life in your hands, sir. Old Arthur Turner smirks, a sudden sharp gleam hitting his cloudy eyes. Hold your thanks, boy. This old man never works for free. Bradley answers without hesitation. That is a given. Old master, just name your price. As long as it is within my power, I will definitely not turn you down. Arthur Turner sighs, real worry suddenly written all over his face. Young friend, you should know, the Turner family dominates in both martial arts and medicine. Sure, we have alliances with countless martial artists out there, but that is just relying on outside help. Building our own internal strength is the only real long-term strategy. Bradley catches his drift and answers firmly. Rest easy, old master. If the Turner family ever runs into trouble, I swear I will not just stand by and watch. Haha, excellent. Arthur Turner bursts out laughing, but then slowly shakes his head again. But like I just told you, relying on outsiders is not a lasting plan. Bradley shifts in his seat, totally confused now. Then what exactly do you mean, sir? Arthur Turner leans in. I have a granddaughter right now studying at the Holy Marshal Academy up in the capital. She is an absolute goddess, your exact age So I am formally inviting you to become the son-in-law of the Turner family. You and I both know this trope. Marry into the family. Bradley is completely stunned. Thinking about his current situation, Bradley smiles bitterly. Old master I have. Trained in martial arts my whole life. I am a rough guy. Honestly, even if you agree, your granddaughter definitely will not. Plus, I actually already have a marriage arrangement. He hurriedly declines. In reality, this specific engagement was arranged by Simon May himself years ago, even though he has never actually met a fiancé. Yep, those memories definitely belong to the previous body's owner. Hearing this, sheer disappointment flashes right across Arthur Turner's eyes. So, it was true. These arranged marriages between powerful martial arts families, completely normal. They wanted to lock down those elite bloodlines. Arthur Turner didn't want to push it anymore. He gives some quick orders and gets ready to leave. Thanks for your understanding, old master. Michael breathes a huge sigh of relief, walking him toward the door. Right as they step outside, a butler sprints in. Old master, the young lady from the Stone family is here. She's aggressively demanding to see Michael May. Arthur Turner just frowns. Michael May. Wait, isn't that the May family's eldest son? Why look for him here? The butler shakes his head. I am not sure either. Arthur Turner waves it off. If it is nothing important, just send her away. Say he isn't here. Wait a second. Michael speaks up. Maybe she actually came here looking for me. Arthur Turner looks shocked. Wait, isn't Bradley May? Why would she look for you? Michael smiles and shakes his head. Long story, let her in first. You and I need to know this. Over the years, Simon May pulled some serious strings to hand Bradley May all the military glory. Even big shots like the Turner family totally bought it. They thought the guy enlisting back then was Bradley May, but honestly, compared to Michael's real military rank, Bradley is an absolute joke, and the May family just could not handle it. Michael May, do not think hiding out here means I will not find you. Even before she steps inside, this furious voice echoes right through the hall. A second later, a stunningly gorgeous girl with flawless skin and fierce beauty storms right into the Turner estate. But let me tell you, at this moment, her face is pure ice, eyes practically shooting daggers. Spotting Arthur Turner, she instantly switches up, bowing super politely. Hello, Grandpa Turner. The old master nods slowly. Those wise eyes just quietly watch without stepping in. Michael frowns and asks her coldly, what exactly do you want with me? From his memories, Michael already knows this is Samantha Stone, the same girl who absolutely despised him, constantly mocking his background from the slums, always claiming he was straight up unworthy. What do I want? You seriously have the nerve to ask, Samantha yells. Let me make this clear. Do not think you can just hide out here forever. You want me to actually marry you. Keep dreaming, Michael replies without flinching. If this is about that, we are done here. Leave. Nobody is begging you to stay. Samantha Stone literally freezes. She never expected this kind of attitude from him. Before, Michael was basically obsessed with her. No matter how bad she insulted him, he always just smiled. She had even demanded to break off their engagement 1,000,000 times, but he always found some pathetic excuse. Is that all? Because I am getting slightly bored here. Michael stares her down. Nothing, Samantha stammers out deep in her chest. She suddenly feels this weird sting, but cannot even put it into words. Realizing she is totally losing control, she snaps back bitterly. Well, since you finally know your place, perfect. Saves me from wasting another second with you. With that, she spins around and storms off. But check this out, Arthur Turner, standing beside Michael, is grinning from ear to ear. Now, you and I know that normally, if some young noble threw a tantrum right in front of this legendary elder, he would have completely lost his temper and kicked her out instantly. But this time, she came to. When Samantha broke her engagement with Michael, Arthur was absolutely thrilled. Thinking about this, Turner's eyes just lit up as he looked at him. Little friend May, since the engagement fell through, what do you think about getting together with my own granddaughter? Michael smiled bitterly. his perfect excuse had just been completely ruined by none other than Samantha Stone, but right now, turning the old man down outright was just too awkward. So he could only reply, "Old master, we really should take this slowly. At the very least, shouldn't you ask for your granddaughter's opinion first? Haha, perfect." Arthur Turner laughed out loud. "Then it is decided, once my granddaughter returns from the Holy Marshal Academy in the capital city, I will arrange for you to meet up. Feelings need time to grow." Meanwhile, Samantha Stone had not gone far at all. Hearing their conversation, her eyes widened. In pure disbelief, had the world gone completely mad? Master Turner wanted to marry his precious granddaughter off to Michael, that absolute piece of trash. Hesitating for a brief second, Samantha turned right back and warned Arthur, "Old Master Turner, there is something you really need to know. Bradley May once told me himself that there is only one real heir to the May family, and it is him. Do not let Michael fool you into handing the Turner family over to a useless piece of trash." Hearing this, Arthur absolutely froze. His face instantly turned pitch dark, since exactly when does a little brat like you get to point fingers at the Turner family's private affairs? Get lost. Samantha violently flinched. She never expected a simple word of warning would make Arthur this angry, and she truly had no clue why. Not daring to stick around, she quickly sprinted right out of the Turner estate. With Master Turner's massive status in the martial arts world, the Stone family simply could not afford to anger him. After walking a safe distance away, Samantha gritted her teeth, her face completely pale. "Michael May, you trash, you dared to put me in this embarrassing spot." She clenched her fists. "Anyway, you will not be smug for long. In 3 days, at the May family celebration banquet, the Turner family will find out you are worse than trash. When that time finally comes, I will personally watch the Turner family's deeply regretful faces." After Samantha left, Arthur stopped bothering Michael and went straight off to prepare the required medicine. Michael also got the news that the May family was holding a celebration banquet in 3 days. Sitting on the sofa, Michael let out a heavy sigh. "Simon, you really are a scheming snake. 3 years ago, you swapped our identities to push me into the military to fight alien beasts. Now that I have returned for the sake of these so-called military merits, you want to swap our identities back again. But how could things just go your way? Even if I hand these merits to Bradley May, would he even dare to accept them?" 3 days passed in a total flash. The May family banquet had all Spirit Vale City watching. Let's see how this unfolds. On the streets, luxury cars gathered, all heading toward one single place, the May family. Outside their massive estate, a crazy long line of VIP cars parked, being top martial arts family in Northbrook, plus having Simon May, the actual commander-in-chief of the demon-quelling army. The May family truly lived up to its heavy reputation. The invited guests were basically all the prominent figures in Northbrook. Inside the May family's grand hall, a huge crowd of elite guests had gathered. Sitting right at the head table was none other than the famous commander-in-chief of Northbrook. "All right, we start with Simon May, the powerful patriarch of the May family. Today is the celebration banquet for my son, Bradley May." His voice booms through the room. "Years ago, our front lines were pure chaos, alien beasts everywhere. As a general of the military, it was my duty to lead the charge right at the vanguard. But those northern tribes were lurking too. Because of that, my son Bradley actually volunteered to head to the front lines and slaughter our enemies." He sweeps his gaze across the silent room. The crowd nods along, feeling a sudden rush of deep respect for the man. A brutal invasion happens, and this general did not hesitate to send his own kid into danger, a true pillar of the nation's defense. Simon just keeps hyping him up. "I invited you all here today, firstly, to celebrate Bradley's massive achievements, and secondly, to have you all act as witnesses. We have quite a few military officials here right now, so I plan to officially promote Bradley to Major of the Northern Demon Quelling Army. Does anyone Object to this, and literally the second he finishes speaking, the entire hall stands up together. They aren't just kissing up to the patriarch here. It is because Bradley really spent 3 years surviving that brutal alien battlefield, racking up serious military merits, so getting promoted to major. Completely earned. Simon nods, looking super satisfied with the crowd, since no one objects the decision stands. From today on, Bradley is officially a major in the military. Everything is settled. Bradley looks calm on the outside, but you know he is screaming internally. The guy is only 20 years old. A military major at 20, and joining the Holy Marshal Academy in just 2 weeks. That is insane. Seriously, how many kids pull off something like this at his age? 0. Huge congratulations, brother Bradley. A true hero for Northbrook. His sister Vivian cheers happily. There are tons of martial arts geniuses out there. I am just one. Bradley smiles, sounding totally modest, but his eyes are practically glowing with pride, with achievements like yours at 20. Nobody is beating that record. Vivian laughs out loud, and her absolute pride is so obvious. After all, Bradley is her actual biologic brother. Having a sibling become a major this fast, she feels the honor just as heavily. Bradley just chuckles softly and leaves it at that. With the big news wrapped up, Simon sits back down. He and Lily watch their boy with massive, satisfied smiles. Their son is finally a man, but suddenly a butler rushes inside the hall. Patriarch, the provincial governor, is here. Simon looks totally caught off guard by this. You and I know the relationship between him and Governor Richard Lee is okay, but they are definitely not best friends. They barely talk. Sure, Simon sent a polite invitation to the banquet to the governor's mansion earlier, but he never actually expected the guy to show up. Lily starts looking super anxious. The governor showing up personally. Is this about Bradley getting promoted? Simon shakes his head, but honestly he is feeling pretty confused himself. Probably not. The whole 3-year enlistment was entirely public knowledge. Making him a major now is completely normal protocol. What is so weird? Plus, this is strict military business. Even Governor Lee does not have the authority to block it. Simon quickly shakes it off, stands up, and strides right out. The guests just watch this play out, everyone looking completely on edge right now. Everyone knew exactly who Richard Lee was, but for him to show up at the May family estate right now, what could it mean? Outside the gates, Simon May stepped out. He instantly spotted Richard Lee waiting there alongside a young guy named Tyler Reed. Simon glanced at Tyler, then quickly looked away. Governor Lee, what brings you to our family today? Since you clearly have some free time. Richard laughed. I heard the May family had a big celebration. I had the day off, so I came to party. Does General May not want me here? Simon laughed right back. Not at all. Guests are absolute treasures. Come on in. As they walked into the hall, everyone just stared in pure shock. Seeing those two joking around, it really did not seem like Richard was just here to celebrate Bradley May getting promoted to major. Now I wonder who this kid actually is. Taking his seat, Simon studied the young man next to Richard and asked. Richard simply smiled. This right here is my junior from the capital. His last name is Reed. Hearing that exact surname, Simon actually frowned. He knew Richard's deep background perfectly well. Young guy named Reed, that could only mean one thing: the Reed Marshal Saint family from the capital. And it was not just Simon. Everyone in the hall, hearing that powerful name, had pure shock written all over their faces. You and I can guess what they were thinking: a Marshal Saint family heir from the capital. But what was a titan like that doing at the May estate? Tyler quickly stood up, dropping his relaxed attitude completely, and said, General May, 3 years ago the front line broke. Alien beasts were invading. You boldly sent your own son to the border to fight. That kind of sacrifice is incredible. So, hearing that Brother May finally returned, you threw a massive celebration banquet. I came here specifically to meet him. I hope I am not interrupting. Tyler's words Caught everyone off guard. This was a literal Marshal Saint family. This guy is probably the future heir, and yet he is being incredibly polite here. Simon was definitely caught off guard. He never expected Tyler to come for this exact reason, but he brushed it off. To him, Tyler's words were just an honest acknowledgement of his huge sacrifice, sending his son to the Treference Line 3. Whole years ago, he smiled proudly, young Master Reed protecting our country and wiping out those alien beasts is a soldier's duty. As a general of the military, how could I just stand by while our entire nation was burning? Tyler nodded with serious respect. General May speaks the truth. I wonder where Brother May is right now. Hearing that, Bradley could not resist and proudly stepped right forward. Brother Reed, I am Bradley May. He never dreamed that there would be a day he could call a Marshal Saint heir his own brother. Now here is where it gets interesting. Tyler looked at Bradley, absolute surprise in his eyes. Even though they had never met, he definitely knew the guy's reputation. Slaying over 1,000 enemies in one single night, earning that terrifying title. God of Slaughter of the Border Pass. Even if he wasn't built like a tank, he should at least have a cold killer's aura. But the guy standing there had soft skin, perfect eyebrows, and bright eyes. To be totally honest, his face was fine, but that completely pampered rich kid energy ruined it. Listen, Tyler Reed just couldn't match this guy with the God of Slaughter of the Border Pass. Not bad, Simon May nodded, practically buzzing. Hearing this, it was awkward to say more, so he just smiled. Ah, Brother May, I've heard so much about you. Bradley May grabbed Tyler Reed's hand, absolutely thrilled. Brother Reed is too kind. Compared to you, I'm way behind. Hearing this, Tyler Reed instantly felt weird. Way behind? You and I know that's crazy. The God of Slaughter of the Border Pass, great general of the Eastern Zone, the absolute youngest general. The entire country. Honestly, no one in the nation could touch him, not just Tyler Reed. Richard Lay, standing right there, also felt that something was way off. Was this guy really the legendary great general of the East? Bradley May was way too soft, almost goofy. It completely clashed with their image of a ruthless young general. Meanwhile, Simon May watched this scene and smirked. He was absolutely sure he made the right call here. Bradley May was the real deal. He could skyrocket the May family to new heights. With the provincial governor here in person, plus a whole Marshal Saint family coming to congratulate them, the May family hit the jackpot. They would definitely secure untouchable power in the future. Simon May secretly clenched his fists, totally hyped up, but right then, a massive buzzkill of a voice echoed from the door, snapping everyone's attention. Simon May, you really are good at scheming. Tell me, where is Bradley May? At the gate of the May estate stood an older guy in full military uniform. He looked absolutely terrifying, shaking with pure rage. This whole scene made everyone gasp in pure shock. Today, the May family was at their absolute peak. The provincial governor was right there. The Marshal Saint family was chilling, yet someone was crazy enough to start a fight. But when everyone finally got a good look, jaws hit the floor. Why? Because of those bright golden epaulets shining on his shoulders. A literal general. General Harrison, you didn't stay back in the base. What are you doing here in Northbrook? Simon May frowned, his tone getting pretty hostile. General Harrison just sneered. What do you think? Obviously, I'm here to get my guy. I'll ask again, where is Bradley May? Him again. Everyone in the room was too stunned to even breathe. The provincial governor, Marshal Saint family, and now the great general of the East. What insane secret did Bradley May actually have? Simon May frowned. General Harrison showing up like this made him feel something was way off. After all, he was sent east years ago. Now General Harrison was hunting him down by name. Did he cause some massive disaster? While panicking, Bradley May couldn't hold back. He stepped right up, proudly declaring, General, I am Bradley May. Today, this guy was totally the star of the show. So many huge Northbrook elites had come just for him. This made the spoiled rich kid even more arrogant than usual. But General Harrison glared at Bradley May, frowning hard. His eyes flashed. You say you are Bradley May. Honestly, General Harrison was furious and totally ready to scream at him, but seeing Simon May not stopping this, he got even more suspicious. And not just General Harrison. Richard Lee and Tyler Reed, watching from the side also, exchanged nervous looks, realizing something was seriously wrong. Was Bradley May the Great General of the East? Come on, you and I know there was definitely a massive problem. General Harrison takes 2 heavy steps forward, locking his eyes onto Simon May. You claim this is Bradley May? Simon nods, looking clearly annoyed. What? Any issues? You think I'd mistake my own kid? Now that he is back by my side, is that a problem for you, General? Harrison, the general, just narrows his eyes, then bursts into loud laughter. Not at all. Since we parted ways at that military zone, you and I have not seen each other in over 10 years, right? I just dropped by today. Seriously, I never expected Bradley May to grow up this much. Simon just frowns. Right now, General. Harrison, changing his tune so fast, leaves him totally confused. He asks directly, if this is just a friendly visit, why barge in looking furious? General Harrison sneers to himself, angry. I wanted to smash your face if I had not just realized this. Bradley May is a total fake. I would have already attacked you. But outwardly he just smiles. Nothing, just feeling bad for Bradley May. He put his life on the line, stacking up so many crazy achievements, and it turns out you only gave him the rank of major. At this exact moment, Harrison figures out the whole game. Simon May only wanted to promote Bradley May to major because this guy is a complete fraud. Now, Bradley May, hearing this, feels pretty smug, actually thinking the general is defending him. He breathes a sigh of total relief and acts humble. General Harrison, major rank is already plenty for me. This fake Bradley keeps bragging. I am still very young. My battlefield experience is lacking. Major is fine. I will slowly rank up. General Harrison glances over, totally faking surprise. Wait, I recall you had 2 sons. Where is the other guy? Not going to introduce him to me? This single question makes Simon's expression instantly turn pitch black. That rebellious trash was kicked out of the May family ages ago. Oh, really? General Harrison nods, acting like he is deep in thought. But you and I know the truth. He is thinking, is Simon mad? Kicking an actual military general, a literal future Marshal Saint candidate, right out of his own house. Something crazy must have gone down between these 2. Harrison shoots a look at Bradley May, already putting the pieces together in his head. The legendary fighter in the Eastern Zone is absolutely not this fake Bradley in front of him, yet the May family is throwing a massive celebration banquet for him. What kind of shady game is this family playing if he cannot find clues here? Sticking around this place is completely useless. General Harrison just takes a deep breath and smiles. Well then, I will not intrude any further. We can catch up next time our paths cross. Simon replies coldly, then I will not bother walking you out. The general nods and marches straight out of the May family estate. Tyler Reed, who has been quietly watching everything unfold, sees this and sprints right after him. Just outside the main gates, Tyler Reed calls out, General Harrison, wait a second. The general quickly turns around and frowns hard. What do you want? Tyler respectfully steps forward. General Harrison, I am Tyler Reed from the capital city Reed family. I just have a couple of questions. Got 2 minutes for me. Now watch this. Hearing the name Reed family instantly reminds Harrison of that legendary Marshal Saint bloodline, so his expression softens up. Go ahead. Tyler takes a deep breath and asks, can I ask you, General, was the god of slaughter at the border pass all those years ago? Bradley May, you mean the current heir of the May family? General Harrison sneered. It's Bradley, but absolutely not that fool sitting in their estate. He continued, Simon May, I really don't know if he's gone completely senile, kicking a future Marshal Saint prodigy onto the streets, just to replace him with a total clown. It's the most hilarious joke I've heard all year. Hearing this, Tyler Reed was completely stunned. He already had his suspicions about Bradley May. But hearing the general confirm it out loud, still impossible to believe, he frowned, clearly confused. Then why didn't you expose that fake just now, General Harrison? Just burst out laughing. Expose Simon May. Why? What does his mess have to do with me? He literally chased my Eastern general right into my hands. Isn't that a massive win for me? Tyler Reed nodded. It finally clicked in his head. You're right, the May family completely ruined themselves. Now, that guy has no choice but the Eastern Zone. General Harrison sighed heavily. All right, time to go track down my new general. He served for 3 whole years, and I still don't know his actual name. Tyler Reed bowed quickly. Then I won't hold you up any longer. Meanwhile, back at the hall, you and I know Bradley May was soaking up the spotlight. The guy was absolutely on cloud 9, sitting quietly in a corner of the room. He leaned in and whispered to Samantha Stone, "So, is that annoying engagement finally canceled?" Samantha stayed completely cool, but her eyes showed real relief. It's done. I really owe you. Without your help, I never would have dared to bring it up to Uncle May. Bradley just smirked. That loser Michael May was officially dead to the family, and after he actually dared to talk back to their father, the old man was furious. Of course he'd agree to cancel it. Bradley's eyes gleamed. Oh, by the way, Samantha, I actually met someone today from a top-tier Marshal Saint family in the capital. I'll introduce you guys later. Samantha was totally shocked. A Marshal Saint family? How on earth do you know people like that? Bradley waved it off, playing it super cool. Well, probably because my talent is just that insane. Guess word reached the capital. No big deal. He tried to act humble, but that massive smug grin was completely obvious. Samantha frowned a bit but dropped it. Now watch closely. Right at that exact moment, Tyler Reed walked through the doors. Bradley immediately started waving his hand around. Brother Reed, over here, man. Tyler heard the shout and just glared at Bradley. His eyes were absolutely ice cold. He completely blew him off. Walked straight over to Richard Lee and whispered something quick right after. Hearing it, Richard looked totally stunned. Before it all clicked, then his expression froze over too. He coldly announced, General May, I still have urgent business to handle today. I'm leaving. Simon May was totally blindsided. Seeing Richard's sudden attitude flip, he awkwardly paused, then muttered, well, since that's how it is, take care. Richard stood up and walked out with Tyler Reed. Stick with me here. Even Bradley felt the tension now, but he had zero clue what happened. Annoyed, he yelled, Brother Reed, what's your problem? I just called you. Are you suddenly deaf or something? Now, normally he'd never dare run his mouth at a Marshal Saint family member like that. But today, he felt untouchable. All these VIPs showed up just for him. He was the main character here. Tyler Reed just sneered back, Brother Bradley May, I just mistook you for someone else. There are some things you really shouldn't spout nonsense about. If you do, I guarantee you will never set foot in this capital again for the rest of your life. Bradley May froze completely, snapping right out of his smug little power trip. His face darkened, completely speechless, and right after Richard Lee and Tyler Reed walked out, Samantha Stone got ready to leave too. When passing by Bradley May, she didn't even pause, like his previous words were a total joke. Seeing this, Bradley May clenched his fists tight. His chest felt like a massive boulder was crushing him, a truly heavy sensation. Meanwhile, over in the Turner family villa, our MC stepped away from the wash basin, throwing his clothes on. That chest scar had noticeably faded. It was already healing up fast. Arthur Turner brought out sandalwood box, a rich medicinal scent spreading out. He said, your physique isn't bad at all. You definitely practiced a strong body tempering technique. Your recovery speed totally exceeds my expectations. He took the box, saying, it does heal fast, but there are still some lingering toxins in my body. Arthur Turner nodded. This next medicine is mainly to purge those toxins out. Within a single week, you will be completely recovered. He felt genuinely grateful. Many thanks, old master, Arthur Turner just smiled and said, "Your physical resilience is truly rare. It must have reached the realm of durable sinews and bones. That alien beast that injured you, its level couldn't be low, right?" He just smiled faintly. "Not low, half a step too." Touching the Marshal Saint realm, Arthur Turner literally sucked in a breath of cold air. Listen to this, a grandmaster killing a half-step Marshal Saint beast. This combat power is just way too terrifying. No wonder they call you the god of slaughter at the border pass. Right at that exact moment, a voice rang out from outside. "Old Master, there is someone out here, claiming to be from the military department. Name is General Harrison." Arthur Turner adjusted his posture and smiled. "Well, it seems someone still cares about you." He smiled bitterly and walked right out of the room. When General Harrison finally saw him, he immediately laughed out loud. "Haha. Finally found you. I honestly thought you weren't coming back." An indescribable emotion rose in his heart. He asked, "Didn't I say I would return after my injuries healed? Why did you come here personally, General Harrison?" The general just replied casually, "Wasn't it because I was terrified your father wouldn't let you go? You are a Marshal Saint seed now. If you couldn't return to my eastern zone, wouldn't I suffer a massive loss?" After joking around, his expression suddenly turned serious and he asked, "Tell me the truth here. What exactly is going on with Bradley May?" He helplessly recounted the entire insane story. Finally understanding the truth, General Harrison angrily slammed his teacup down onto the table. "Simon May is truly going way too far to think there are parents out there who are biased to this extreme extent." Noticing his expression, the general probed, "What do you plan to do next?" He sighed and said helplessly, "Once my injuries heal up, I will head back to the military zone to participate in the general heart evaluation. As for the May family, well, since we are completely cut off now, let the past stay in the past." General Harrison nodded. "Good, because with your current status, Simon May doesn't even have the required clearance to check your files anyway, but I will remember this disrespect. Later, when I go up to the military headquarters, I will absolutely report this mess." Our guy just took a sip of tea. Michael stayed quiet. General Harrison pushed on. "I heard for this General's heart evaluation, the top military reward is the true dragon wings. That is the ultimate item for advancing as a true dragon marshal. Artist, you literally cannot miss this." Michael nodded. If his injuries heal, his general's heart evaluation could reach 6 petals. General Harrison absolutely froze, taking a sharp breath. 6 petals, the standard evaluation for a true dragon level expert, maxes out at 5 stars. You already hit 6 petals. You and I both know that is insane. Meanwhile, at the May family estate, after Richard Lay, the general, and all those VIPs took off, Simon May was furious. The celebration dragged out for 1 more hour before finally wrapping up. Now, he sat there scowling, wondering, "Didn't you guys feel today was super weird?" Lily totally agreed. Something was way off, even with the May family commanding the Northbrook demon-quelling army, getting the governor and a general here. Practically impossible. Plus, why did those heavyweights leave so incredibly fast? Right after connecting the dots, Lily suddenly gasped. Could it be because of Michael? Honestly, there was simply no other logical explanation. Hearing her say that, Simon May frowned even harder. To make the literal provincial governor and a Marshal Saint family show up, Michael is definitely not simple. Over these past 3 years, maybe I seriously underestimated him. But inwardly, Simon was sneering. No wonder he freaked out when I tried to hand his hard-earned military merits to Bradley. He actually holds real status in the military ranks. Watching Simon's face twist with conflicting dark emotions, Lily immediately stepped in. "What if I bring Michael back? Just stop being angry about this." Simon practically spat. "Bring him back. In your dreams, don't think playing pathetic tricks changes anything for me." He didn't act sooner, didn't act later. He specifically picked Bradley's celebration banquet to stir up absolute chaos. He is totally trying to embarrass Bradley on purpose. Lily just opened her Mouth completely speechless, Simon just doubled down. I want to see what this rebellious kid is actually trying to pull. Has he seriously never seen us as his real family? Right then, he gave two secret orders. Number 1, thoroughly investigate Michael May. Number 2, track down his exact location. He wanted to confront him face to face. Meanwhile, after getting the full picture of the crazy situation, General Harrison left the Turner estate, heading straight back to the Eastern War Zone. Arthur Turner finally knew the whole story and could only sigh. How are there people in this world so insanely thick-skinned and shameless? I cannot wait to see Simon's face when he discovers Michael's actual, terrifying identity. Just then, a voice echoed from out in the hallway. Old Master, reps from the May Corporation are here. They want you to join in researching their brand new medicine. Arthur snapped back to reality and replied almost instantly, tell them I am not going. From this moment on, the Turner family is completely cutting ties with the May Corporation. Back at the provincial governor's mansion, Richard and Tyler returned. Looking absolutely thunderous, Richard Lee exploded in anger. Look at the total mess you caused. I am the literal provincial governor, and you dragged me to attend Bradley's. Richard grumbled. At the May family banquet, he lost all his face. If it was the real VIP, fine. But the problem is, Bradley May is just an arrogant playboy. Tyler Reed was equally annoyed. He snapped, how could you blame me? Who knew what kind of madness Simon May was on, kicking a literal military general right out of his house? Just thinking about Bradley May's arrogant, smug little face made Tyler boil with pure annoyance, and what he hated most was being called Brother Reed by that kid. Honestly, if not for Simon May's reputation, Tyler would have slapped Bradley right across the face. Hearing all this venting, Richard only sighed heavily. I genuinely have no idea what Simon May is thinking. He muttered, but what is your plan now? Tyler immediately replied, first, find out exactly where Michael is hiding. I need to visit him personally. Coming to Northbrook, my entire goal was finding Michael May. You and I both know from the chaos in the capital, Michael's real identity and future potential make his value absolutely immeasurable. Hearing those heavy words, Richard Lee hesitated for a moment before asking, what exactly is the current situation in the capital? Tyler Reed put on a grim face. The alien factions are getting stronger, and Marshal Saint families are fighting endlessly for absolute power. The upcoming general evaluation will likely crown the ultimate winner. Richard's eyes flashed with realization. So you mean the Eastern god of slaughter can actually seize total control? Just how powerful is he? Tyler took a deep breath. Perhaps way stronger than you could ever imagine. His military status, very few people can even compare. Richard's face dropped instantly. Michael May's status was really that unmatched? Then what exactly was his rank? Being a simple one-star general was impossible. There were hundreds of those guys stationed across the national war zones. 2-star, that meant a military chief. Richard Lee inhaled a sharp, cold breath, spine shivering. He literally dared not think further. But honestly, it made sense. A guy reaching such insane accomplishments at his age was mind-blowing. Trust me, when the truth drops, the May family will definitely regret everything until it hurts. Meanwhile, our boy Michael was still chilling at the Turner estate, completely oblivious and honestly not caring at all about the crazy drama happening over at the May family. Opening his eyes, Michael's chaotic blood energy slowly settled down. He exhaled a long breath of stale air. With his current physical state, once the poison was fully purged, he could finally step right into the elite true dragon martial artist tier. Thinking about this, Michael stood up and left the room. After hiding out with the Turner family for days, it was time to get out and catch some fresh air. Just as he stepped outside, he spotted Arthur Turner in the courtyard, carefully tending to his precious medicinal herbs. The old man turned around with a smile. Finally coming out. How are those injuries holding up? Michael replied, gratefully, recovering perfectly. Everything should be fully healed in just 2 more Days I really appreciate it, old master. Arthur laughed loudly. Good, good, but do not forget our little agreement. Michael nodded, ready to leave, but Arthur suddenly called out, oh right, Northbrook has not been very peaceful lately. If you head out, watch your back. Hearing this warning, Michael suddenly remembered that while healing his injuries these past few days, he had clearly sensed some very unusual aura. He asked, did something massive happen in Northbrook, Arthur? Turner sets down his herbs with a nod. Yes, 50 miles from Spirit Vale. Catacomb spawned. Initial scans say double S rank, which means Grandmaster level beasts are inside. Michael's eyes instantly flash with excitement. You and I know dungeons like this are super rare, usually swarming with monsters or giant beast nests. While Michael is deep in thought, Arthur suddenly laughs. Ah, I forgot who you are, but there is actually something regarding you. Our MC snaps back to reality. What is it? Arthur pauses for a moment, then replies, the provincial governor's mansion reached out yesterday. They want to visit. Word is, a big shot from the capital wants a meeting. The capital? Michael looks completely caught off guard. Anyone coming from there looking for our MC means major trouble. Meanwhile, over at the Spirit Vale military base, Simon May marches in. His sharp gaze scans the room as he asks what is the status of that new catacomb. A division commander immediately stands up, snaps a salute, and reports, General, the demon-quelling army is already dispatched. We are prepping the full clearing op now. Simon nods and casually asks, and that other issue, any updates on the investigation? The division commander hesitates. Insufficient authority, sir. We actually need your personal authorization, General. Not enough authority. Simon looks completely baffled. You are a top-tier division commander, yet your clearance is not high enough. It seems Michael's hidden identity is way more complex than Simon ever thought. Simon walks over, staring directly at the flashing insufficient authority error on the screen. He places his hand against it, and with one thought, files about Michael pop up, but strangely, it completely stops right after his promotion to junior officer. When he tries digging deeper, the screen flashes a massive bright red warning reading. Insufficient authority to access. Simon just stares at the message. Really dark smile creeping onto his face, like I care about some junior officer. Walking out of the base, Simon asks, his voice ice cold, you guys mentioned Michael is crashing at the Turner family estate right now. His subordinate quickly nods with respect. Yes, I verified it myself. Simon strides off with a nasty sneer. This rebellious son sure knows how to pick the perfect hiding spot, but right then his phone rings. After picking it up, Simon's expression drops completely. He frantically rushes away from the military base, heading straight back to the May estate. Back at home, Lily sits on the sofa, absolutely spiraling with anxiety. Bradley and Vivian look just as panicked. The second Simon walks through the front door, he demands, are you telling me the Turners want to sever all ties with our family? Lily nods, looking like she might actually throw up. A few days ago for that new medicine project, I sent an official invite to Arthur Turner, but he shut me down instantly. He actually claimed he wants absolutely zero connection with our family. Moving forward, the vibe in the May living room turns incredibly heavy. Without the backing of Arthur Turner, the May Corporation is going to face huge roadblocks researching new medicines in this modern era of high-tier martial arts. You and I know falling behind the market means getting totally wiped out. Bradley frowns deeply. Do you think old Master Turner just feels we are lowballing his payouts so he is backing out, or did we accidentally do something to make him mad? He guesses. Aside from those two options, they couldn't figure it out. In Northbrook, the absolute perfect partner for Arthur Turner was the May Corporation, all because Simon stood right behind it. Vivian May shook her head in complete denial. Impossible. Every year the family gives the Turner family 50% of the profits, plus they haven't even seen old Master Turner lately. Not a single soul from his family showed up. Lily nodded. In total agreement, as long as the Turner family didn't ask for anything crazy. Avoiding a fallout with Arthur Turner was easy, but right now, the May family hadn't done a single thing to upset Arthur Turner, so why suddenly announce the end of their partnership? Did another giant corporation secretly contact Arthur Turner with an offer he couldn't refuse? Lily wondered. Simon May's face just got darker. I don't think so, those exact words made. Lily, Bradley May, and everyone else instantly turned toward him. Bradley May quickly asked, Father, do you know why? Simon May's expression darkened, his voice filled with pure anger. Michael May is currently staying with the Turners, for Arthur to suddenly cut ties with us. I'm afraid it's entirely because of him. Bradley May looked completely stunned. Father, with his low status, why on earth would the Turner family ever protect him? Why would old Master Turner even care? Simon May just sneered. Do not underestimate your dear brother. Over in the Eastern Zone, his rank isn't low. He is at least a captain. Hearing that, Bradley and Vivian May instantly understood. Reaching captain at his age, Arthur Turner might actually favor that, seeing it as a solid investment, but Arthur Turner's judgment was seriously flawed, picking a guy the May family had completely exiled. Bradley May scoffed inwardly. A captain, so what? I'm a major now. He dares to cause trouble for father, and now he's actively ruining the bond between the May family and the Turners. From the very beginning until now, Michael May never truly saw us as family. Vivian May was absolutely furious. That guy is going way too far. He already angered father, and now he's completely trashing our relationship with the Turners. Hearing all this, Lily still couldn't quite believe it. Are you sure? Even though Michael resents us, I really don't think he would go this far. Simon May glared right at her. What's there to doubt? He is literally staying with the Turners. Besides him, can anyone here think of any other logical reason? Lily stayed quiet for a long moment, then sighed. Fine, in a few days invite Arthur Turner over so we can renegotiate. Simon May just narrowed his eyes in dead silence, a dark glint flashing in his gaze, watching her parents stress out. Vivian May got so mad her face flushed bright red. She stormed out, ready to hunt Michael down for payback. But watch what happens next. At the provincial governor's mansion, Michael casually sat on the sofa. I heard old Master Turner say you were looking for me. Richard Lay, despite actually being the provincial governor, still didn't have enough authority to match Michael's real military status. He smiled respectfully. General May, we originally planned to come visit you. We never expected you to show up personally. Michael replied, completely unfazed. I stayed at the Turner's place way too long, so I stepped out for fresh air. Speak, what is the matter? Richard Lee turned toward the door and called out, Tyler. Tyler Reed hurriedly stepped inside. Richard Lee smiled and made the introduction. General May, this is my nephew from the capital's Reed family. Michael just nodded. Yeah, I know all about the You and I are jumping right in. General May, greetings. Tyler Reed takes a deep breath, looking dead serious. Michael's identity was so massive that even Tyler's father would have to bow, let alone this kid. Skipped the formalities. Why is the Reed family looking for me? Michael asked. Flat out. Tyler paused, gathering his thoughts. I assume you will also take part in the upcoming General's Heart evaluation. General May, and head straight to the capital. Right now, alien tribes are lurking and the capital is an absolute mess. Those elite Marshal Saint families have been fighting for power forever. If we get your backing, General May, the chaos in the capital stabilizes instantly. Then, we can finally unite everyone against those alien tribes. He took another breath. Having your support, honestly, is basically securing half the entire military department. Michael just frowned. The military only cares about crushing the alien tribes. You're saying the military shouldn't interfere, and honestly, we don't want to get involved. Tyler looked desperate now, but the alien tribes are growing way stronger. If these Marshal Saint families keep bickering and don't stop soon, it Just hands the enemy a perfect chance to strike, hearing Tyler say this. Michael stayed dead silent. The kid's logic actually was not completely wrong, but this wasn't something Michael could decide alone. After all, he didn't own the entire military department yet. Michael finally replied, "Playing it cool, I will consider this. We will talk when I reach the capital." Tyler wanted to push harder, but catching Richard Lee's warning glare, he wisely shut his mouth. Richard stepped in. "All right, let's drop this topic for now. We will settle everything up in the capital." Meanwhile, right outside the governor's mansion, Vivian May was standing there, fuming, glaring holes into the entrance. When she finally spotted Michael, she stomped over, but just as she prepared to scream at him, she saw something completely wild. Walking right behind Michael were Richard and Tyler Reed, looking like his best buddies, back at Bradley May's massive celebration banquet. She had seen these two big shots herself. The first was the powerful Northbrook governor, and the other represented a legendary Marshal saint family. So why on earth was Michael walking with them? Vivian was absolutely baffled. She already despised him, and adding the drama that just went down at the May household, she practically wanted to rip his head off. But being a true May family member, she did not let rage win. More importantly, watching how Richard and Tyler were acting right now. They seemed weirdly cautious and totally respectful toward Michael. "Damn it," Vivian gritted, her teeth, forcing herself to hold back. "You guys can head back now," Michael ordered casually, strolling away from the giant governor's mansion all alone. The two elites simply nodded and backed off. After walking just a few blocks, Michael stopped in an empty alley. "Following me around, aren't you getting tired?" With his insane spiritual power, he could scan the whole spirit Vale City. Did she really think he would not notice her tailing him? Vivian stepped right out, sneering with pure venom. "Just what exactly is your relationship with the governor and that guy from the Reed family in the capital? Who exactly are you?" Vivian stares at him with deep suspicion. "The provincial governor and a Marshal saint family member. Why on earth were they so close to her supposed trash brother?" She looks at him, totally stunned. The power gap between this guy and the old Michael May she used to know is massive. He doesn't explain, just shoots her a perfectly cold glare. "You followed me all this way just to ask that?" Vivian regains her senses, her face twisting ugly. "Michael May, you have gone way too far. Do you even consider us family? Why did Arthur Turner cut ties with the May family because of you?" Michael just frowns at her flawed logic. "Whether Arthur cooperates with their family or not, how is that his problem? Stop pretending," Vivian yells at him. "Father already figured it out. You've been living at the Turner estate lately. Who else could have ruined the deal?" Hearing this accusation, Michael thinks the whole situation is absolutely absurd. Arthur's business choices being blamed on him, completely incomprehensible. Honestly, he is way too lazy to deal with this drama. "If you are sick, go see a doctor. Don't act crazy here. I have zero time for games." Michael turns around and prepares to leave. Seeing his totally indifferent attitude, Vivian completely freezes up. When Michael first joined the May household, he obeyed her and Bradley without question. Even when she openly mocked him, he would still sweetly call her his sister. But now, he's calling her sick. "You and I know exactly why." She doesn't realize the original Michael only played nice because he desperately wanted to fit into their family, but these people never treated him like real blood anyway, so why should he care about them now? "Michael May, you absolute ungrateful wretch," Vivian screams as he walks. "Mom and Dad brought you back from the slums years ago. They literally gave you everything, and now you backstab the May family. A favor." Michael stops dead in his tracks. Slowly turning around, he walks right back toward her, step by intimidating step. He already made it perfectly clear to them, the favor of Simon bringing him home. He paid that massive debt in full long ago. "I owe you absolutely nothing. What do you want?" Vivian's pupils shrink. She feels an absolutely terrifying, indescribable aura pouring out. her own spiritual power reacts to the overwhelming pressure. Automatically flaring up, pure battle intent suddenly erupts around them. I am only speaking to you right now purely out of respect for our past sibling bond. He says with a freezing tone, you really want to know who I am? Fine. I will show you. Bam. A massive burst of spiritual energy explodes directly. From his body, his eyes flash a glowing ash-white color. At this exact moment, Vivian is completely shell-shocked. In her vision, his figure starts splitting. 1, 2, 3, until he is completely surrounded by his own afterimages. And then she suddenly hallucinates a massive battlefield scene, a tall young man in bloody, torn clothes standing proudly on top of countless dead alien beasts, holding a long spear that pierces straight through a beast. You and I know that epic scene is burned into her spirit. A blurry new image appears, high-ranking military officers in uniform wearing brilliant golden epaulets strictly saluting a young man. That same man wearing dazzling golden epaulets himself. Vivian desperately tries to see his face clearly, but at the final second the vision vanishes. Who was that? Could it really be you, Vivian? Vivian snapped back to reality, stuttering. Her vision was blurred, but that scene, an absolute nightmare. It burned into her spiritual core, totally impossible to erase. She refused to believe it was him. Impossible. That couldn't be Michael May. Right then, her martial arts progression completely froze. Michael's figure in that bloodbath became her literal inner demon, unless she accepted the truth that the man revered by 10,000 soldiers was actually Michael. That mental block would never fade. Vivian finally regained her senses and desperately searched for him, but Michael was long gone. Crushed and totally dazed, she returned to the May family estate, still muttering, "It's not Michael May, it's definitely not him. Vivian, what's wrong?" Seeing her vacant eyes and trembling lips, Bradley May rushed forward in a panic, but Vivian didn't even hear him, drifting inside like a soulless corpse. Meanwhile, their father Simon was already furious about Michael's actions, but seeing Vivian, his icy expression actually softened. You see, to him, both she and Bradley were vastly superior to his eldest son Michael. Father, look at what's wrong with her. She seriously looks possessed, Bradley yelled out, following close behind. Simon frowned, instantly realizing something was terribly wrong with Vivian's spiritual energy. He quickly stepped up to her, looking extremely worried. Pure spiritual energy glowed from his palm, and he gently pressed it against Vivian's forehead. Soon enough, her blank eyes slowly regained some clarity. Vivian, what happened? Simon asked anxiously. I don't know. I don't know. Vivian frantically shook her head. She wanted to say Michael's name, but instantly that horrific, bloody battlefield and his terrifying glory flashed right back into her mind. That memory was like a stubborn ghost, utterly impossible to shake, causing her spiritual power to violently spiral. Seeing this, Simon roared in pure rage, in all of Northbrook, who dares touch my daughter? Do they have a death wish? Vivian, head to your room and rest. Don't panic, just wait until your father hunts this trash down. You can personally deal with them however you want. Vivian just nodded, eyes completely terrified as she retreated to her room. Bradley's face was totally grim. Father, what did they do to her? Simon replied coldly. Someone violently used spiritual power to carve a horrific memory right into Vivian's brain. This memory is so terrifying, it spawned an inner demon, his stoic face rarely losing control, twisted with pure fury. Wait, what? Doesn't that mean Vivian's entire martial arts future is ruined? Who could be so insanely vicious? Bradley's expression darkened. In martial arts, raw talent is nothing if your warrior's heart is shattered. If that core is destroyed, no amount of genius talent will save you. Completely useless. Simon replied in a dark, heavy tone. It hasn't quite reached that fatal level yet. Just wait until I hunt them down and execute them on the spot. Blood for blood. That'll shatter Vivian's inner demon. His terrifying aura fluctuated, breathing sounding like literal thunder. He was almost never this enraged. Bradley suddenly paused, finally realizing, Father, wait. When Vivian got back here, she kept muttering about eldest brother. What? It's that little beast. Simon was absolutely shocked and furious. Did Michael actually dare attack his own sister? Simon narrowed his eyes, instantly ordering his men to the Turner estate, demanding Michael May too. Literally crawl back here tomorrow. I'll go right now. Bradley quickly nodded, accepting the brutal task. But here's the crazy part. Michael never actually ruined her Art's heart. Michael just told the truth, but she refused to listen, causing this whole mess. You and I both know Michael expected this. Vivian always mocked him. Why would she ever believe his new identity? Once she finally accepted the truth, that inner demon would vanish. Meanwhile, Simon May moved extremely fast. Michael had barely stepped inside the Turner family estate when the May family messengers arrived. To summon him, he thought about it. Vivian had definitely run back to the May family. He knew exactly why they wanted him back, but explaining seemed entirely pointless. Eldest young master, wait, no, Michael May. The patriarch said if you do not return tomorrow, do not blame him for cutting all father-son ties. The messenger threatened, cutting ties. Michael just laughed out loud at that. If that man actually cared about their bond, would he have said those awful things? Go back and tell Simon May that they are officially done. He is not going. If the patriarch wants him so badly, he can come find him himself. The May family messengers scurry back to report. Hearing this, Simon May completely loses it, angrily slamming his fist down. The solid wooden table instantly shatters into tiny splinters. This arrogant beast thinks I cannot touch him. Fine, I will go there personally. Simon May stands up, expression freezing. Bradley May follows him. Right now he is absolutely furious. He thinks Michael never should have dared to attack their own sister. Before long, the Turner estate gets chaotic. In the grand hall, the exact moment Simon storms in, he cuts straight to the chase. Where is Michael May? Tell that brat to get out here. Arthur Turner's expression instantly shifts into worry. General May, this is the Turner household, not your family. Simon simply sneers. Arthur Turner, usually I give you face, but today that little beast actually dared to hurt his sister. I am not giving face to anyone. Hearing this, Arthur Turner looks extremely grim. He finally realizes Simon May is genuinely out for blood. Otherwise, he would never speak like this, but the Turner family is a martial arts clan with solid backing. As Arthur Turner opens his mouth to speak, Michael's voice casually rings out from the door. Old Master Turner, they are looking for me. Do not make this hard on yourself. Michael strolls in calmly. Seeing him, Bradley May aggressively steps forward. His eyes are dead cold, radiating pure killing intent. Michael, that day you violently rebelled against our father. And today you attacked Vivian. Are you even human anymore? She is your own flesh and blood. Michael simply frowns, replying coldly, watch your mouth. He did not even touch her. If you are clueless, surely your father knows. Besides, he treated her like family, but did she ever respect him? Simon May hears this and practically chokes on his own fury. Even though we severed ties, am I no longer your father? He is furious because Michael keeps calling him your father instead of dad. But honestly, Vivian's internal condition was not completely ruined. She could still practice martial arts for the rest of her life. You absolute animal, you dare disrespect father like that, Bradley screams out, his aura dropping the temperature. Today I will break you. He steps right forward, eyes totally dead. Simon does not stop him. Honestly, Bradley making a move is way better than a messy father-son brawl right here. Plus, Simon is extremely confident in Bradley. Now watch closely, guys. Michael just glances over, instantly realizing that Bradley is already an acquired stage martial artist, hitting that specific cultivation realm. All right, you and I are witnessing madness. Bradley's talent, honestly not bad, but unfortunately, standing right in front of him was Michael May. Bradley lunged forward, moving fast as literal lightning, throwing a brutal punch straight at Michael's face. The wind howled, almost tearing the air apart. The raw power of an acquired martial artist Hits 10,000 caddies. That is easily enough to shatter a building. Facing this overwhelming strike, Michael just stood there calmly. This made Bradley incredibly smug. In Northbrook's younger generation, his skills ranked at the absolute top, his own. Brother seemed completely scared stiff, but then, the very next moment, Bradley's eyes just froze. That punch he was so incredibly proud of, it completely missed Michael's figure had vanished into thin air. Bradley couldn't even see him move, and it wasn't just Bradley. Simon May, watching nearby, was absolutely stunned. When Bradley's fist was about to connect, Simon only saw a blurry phantom brush right past. Right after, the wind shrieked. A terrifying blood aura exploded outward, making the surrounding air feel insanely thick, carrying this metallic, faint smell of fresh blood. A suffocating pressure gripped his throat. Wait, not good. Simon's expression instantly dropped. He sensed the terrifying power behind Michael's counter. It wasn't just 10,000 caddies. We're talking 100,000 caddies, with Bradley's current level taking this hit would easily put him in a hospital bed for months. Simon tried to intervene, desperate to save him, but Michael was way too fast. In the blink of an eye, before Simon could even act, a tragic scream echoed out. Bradley, his eyes filled with pure disbelief, was sent flying backward. He crashed hard, blood trickling down the corner of his mouth. He actually tried standing, but his whole body felt totally shattered to pieces. Every slight movement brought bone-deep, absolute agonizing pain. Seeing his son crushed, Simon threw away all pride and family face completely. He aggressively thrust his palm toward Michael. Now watch this. This strike came from a true grandmaster. If Bradley's weak punch was enough to shatter a building, Simon's palm strike carried enough raw power to level an entire modern city. As a regional commander-in-chief, his strength was downright terrifying, but facing this monster palm, Michael didn't back down. He advanced, stepping right into it, throwing a massive punch in response. Boom, an insane explosion rang out everywhere. Dust clouded the air, making the entire Turner family estate violently shake. Simon, you and I have no more ties, Michael said coldly. You called me a beast, but you are the biggest beast here. Do I need to expose everything you've done? After dropping that threat, Michael just stared at him calmly. Simon was totally stunned. Not only did Michael completely block his palm strike, but his own arm was literally trembling, and that wasn't all. Michael's intense aura made Simon feel like he was falling into an abyss. If Simon's aura was Mount Tai pressing down, crushing you breathless, Michael's aura was an unfathomable ocean, a deep sea that simply couldn't be measured. Rebellious son, you dare fight back? Simon, who was incredibly shocked and furious, shouted at him. He was terrified by Michael's strength, but furious at his attitude. Sure, Michael had acted tough before, but Simon assumed it was just bitterness over taking his brother's place for 3 long years, losing all his military merits in the process. He never actually expected Michael would physically raise a hand against him, his own biological father. Is your brain completely sick? Michael replied coldly. That day, he made his ultimate boundary crystal clear. Ties with the May family, the one you should be calling a rebellious son, is the trash lying right over there. Our MC glared down at Bradley with total disgust. Simon finally noticed his precious golden boy twitching on the floor, barely even breathing. The old man's face twisted, absolutely shaking with blind fury. Good, very good. I never expected that beneath that obedient little act years ago hid an absolute monster. I seriously regret bringing you home. I should have just left you to rot in the slums. Big words, but Simon definitely felt the sheer terror of Michael's punch. Honestly, you and I know a real fight would be a toss-up if they went all out. All of Spirit Vale City would be caught in the crossfire. Plus, as a public figure, Simon cared way too much about his precious reputation, and he knew our guy could expose his shady past, so the old man backed off. Right then, Arthur Turner, having heard enough, finally stepped up. General May, you are completely out of line. Years ago, when the alien beasts attacked, you left your oldest son out there alone. That was your massive failure. They say giving life without actually raising the child means you basically failed as a human. Bringing him home was just your basic duty as a parent, not some generous favor. Simon's face turned completely pale, then green. Finally, he scoffed, desperately checking on his favorite son's condition. You are truly vicious, he spat after checking the damage. You knew your brother is about to take the big martial arts exam, yet you crushed him. You obviously just want to destroy his future. Our guy found this hilarious. A beast earlier, but now they were brothers. He easily called out the hypocrisy. Why didn't Simon ask if, since the day Michael joined the family, Bradley had ever once called him brother? Come on, how could Simon not know about this? Since he came back, his spoiled siblings never showed him any respect, let alone called him big brother, but their father always turned a total blind eye, assuming that since Michael was still new, things would just magically fix themselves over time. But fast forward to now, and even Simon forgot that his two golden kids never actually used the word brother once. Maybe he just got completely used to it. Simon stayed completely silent, face purple with rage, his mind an absolute mess. He picked up the broken Bradley and stormed right out of the Turner estate, back at their mansion. Simon frantically double-checked his son's brutal injuries. That massive martial arts exam was approaching fast. They couldn't afford a single mistake. What happened? How is he so badly hurt? His mother Lily had just walked in, and seeing her boy covered in blood, she sprinted over in absolute panic. Simon just gritted his teeth and growled, it was none other than your older son being an absolute savage. Right before the huge martial arts exam, he beat Bradley like a dog. He clearly doesn't want his own brother to succeed. Now listen closely. If Michael's insane strength hadn't made the old man sweat, Simon would have crushed him on the spot, making our guy kneel outside the May family gates for 3 whole days and nights. But Simon was still completely baffled. Why was Michael's martial arts so ridiculously overpowered? Lily grabbed some high-tier elixir pills and frantically stuffed them straight into Bradley's mouth. Totally stunned, she gasped, Michael did this. Bradley was actually beaten by Michael. Now, the Stone Corporation specialized in crafting elite meds for martial artists. Although Bradley's severe injuries were absolutely brutal, if they just threw enough cash at it, he could fully recover before the big exam. But seriously, who else could it be? Simon grew intensely angrier the more his mind raced. That little punk's wings have hardened. He thinks he's untouchable. Actually dared to lay a hand on him. Lily sighs. What did you do to provoke Michael again? She figured that once our main character cooled down, he would eventually come crawling back home. But man, she did not expect things to get this incredibly messy. Provoke him? That punk was provoking me, Simon May furiously yells back. Lily stays quiet, checking on Bradley's condition before letting out a massive sigh of relief. He's hurt bad, but I'll bring some high-grade medicine straight from the company. His exams are safe. Simon finally relaxes slightly, but his fury still boiling. That ungrateful kid wants to cut all ties with the May family. Fine, stop looking for him. Just let the boy fend for his useless self. Even though Michael's harsh truths really stung him, exposing how his younger siblings never treated him like a real brother. As a father, Simon's pride is way too huge. Apologize to his own son? Never, even if he's totally to blame. Lily just sits there completely silent. This entire family drama is spiraling way out of control. Seeing her husband's absolute rage right now, she clearly knows that this father and son duo are destined to become bitter enemies. Honestly, as a mother, she feels incredibly guilty toward our main character. She hates seeing things reach this toxic level, but if she just sits by, she's going to lose her eldest son forever. Now let's shift gears. 100 miles away, a massive mountain range stretches out forever. Right at the base sits a tiny village. A few rugged farmers carrying heavy tools are wrapping up for the day, getting ready to head home, chatting as they walk. What is up lately? Every time I try to sleep, I get this terrifying chill down my spine, like something's watching me. Right, I've been feeling that exact same creepy vibe. Rumor has it a catacomb packed with alien beasts just opened in the mountains. Makes sense we're terrified. Hey. Don't panic, the demon-quelling army is here, and a literal grandmaster is leading them. Before he can even finish, a deafening explosion absolutely rocks the mountains. Rubble blasts into the sky, blinding dust flies everywhere, and thick black smoke billows, completely blocking out the sun. Suddenly, a frantic voice from the demon-quelling army echoes down, "Retreat, everyone evacuate right now," a demon-quelling army. Lieutenant Colonel dashes out from the deep mountain shadows, slamming into the village entrance looking cold and incredibly stern. "Sir, what happened up there? Why?" The sudden evacuation order, one of the sturdy farmers asks, the stern lieutenant. Colonel just replies coldly, "The alien beasts inside are completely beyond our control. If you value your lives, run." Hearing that this elite demon-quelling army was losing, the villagers don't ask any more questions, frantically grabbing their families to flee for their lives. The lieutenant colonel barks out an urgent order, "Call military headquarters right now. This insane catacomb is not just double S rank, it's way worse. We need heavy reinforcements for suppression and get a spiritual master here to properly reassess the threat level." After dropping that bomb, he turns and marches straight back into danger. Deep inside the mountain range sits a massive basin, right in the middle, a pitch-black cave that looks like pure darkness. Just one single alien beast crawling out has already caused massive casualties for the army, and that was just one monster. Double S rank, yeah, right. The lieutenant colonel looks grim, but without a second thought, he steps right down into the deadly basin. Meanwhile, over at the Holy Marshal Academy training grounds, over in the capital, Diana Turner closed her eyes, her eyelashes trembling. Her spiritual energy suddenly turned ash white. Everything around her played out in slow motion, every single detail magnified. Then her eyes snapped open, bright and shining with pure excitement. Her spiritual power had finally broken through its bottleneck, but before she could celebrate, a loud voice called from afar, "Diana, Diana," a woman wearing golden epaulets on her shoulders, clearly a major general, walked right over. Diana was absolutely stunned. "Teacher, why are you here in person?" General Chloe Reed went straight to the point. She just got a brand new mission to survey a catacomb in Spirit Vale. She suddenly remembered her little student. Was Diana interested in following her to take a look? Spirit Vale, Diana muttered. Meanwhile, at the Turner family villa, after wrapping up the May family drama, our MC was still resting, thinking about his next big plan. He opened the door and walked right out, intending to bid farewell to Arthur Turner before heading back to the military zone. After hearing this, Arthur smiled. "Listen, little friend, even though your injuries are mostly healed and the toxins are fully cleared, there is still a risk of relapse." Our guy frowned hard. "Old master, the toxins in his body were totally gone. Why would they ever come back?" Arthur simply shook his head. "This toxin is a literal relic of human history, originating from bizarre things from outer space. Better safe than sorry." Our MC nodded in total agreement. That made perfect sense. Those alien tribes were incredibly bizarre. Arthur continued, "What comes next is a medicine to protect his heart meridian. Now watch this. It alters the genes in his body to build antibodies. If he encountered this exact toxin again later, he would be totally immune. Plus, the genetic alteration would also massively boost his regenerative abilities." Our MC was stunned. "Increased regenerative powers? Did he mean like in sci-fi movies, where severed limbs grow right back?" Arthur shook his head, instantly seeing through his wild thoughts. "Not to that crazy extreme, it just drastically speeds up wound healing." Our guy nodded, then he would happily accept the help. "Old master." Arthur took out a pristine white porcelain medicine bottle right out of a dimensional space and handed it over. "If he absorbed it, well, the effects could be even more insane." Our MC grabbed it, went to his room and poured out a pill the size of a fingernail. Without overthinking, he Swallowed it down immediately. The very next second, his body felt like it was undergoing earth-shattering changes. An intense pain spread through his entire body. Like his bones were being completely crushed and reassembled, he did not dare think. Twice, quickly circulating his breathing technique and entering a deep state of pure enlightenment. Soon enough, the violent changes stopped. He opened his eyes. Around his body, heavy wind howled, while ice and fire completely intertwined. Taking a massive breath, his eyes still showed lingering shock, withered wood. Meeting spring, displaying miraculous vitality, he comprehended a legendary type of rebirth martial art from this pill. Even in this modern martial arts era, such a thing was completely unheard of. With this crazy ability, no matter the injury, he could quickly bounce back. Even completely severed limbs could grow back in record time. He looked at his own hand, deep in thought. Of course, he was not crazy enough to chop off his hand to test it out. If it failed, you and I both know he is doomed. Just to test things out, our guy summons a tiny blade and slashes his own hand. Before blood even flows, the wound perfectly seals itself shut. He clenches his fists. In pure hype, this healing effect is absolutely broken. He has truly achieved complete regeneration. Stepping out of the room, he runs into Arthur Turner, who warmly smiles. "How is it?" Our guy just nods, absorbed perfectly, keeping the massive rebirth skill a total secret though. Arthur looks completely satisfied. "Excellent, you can leave safely now. If you ever face that nasty toxin again, you literally have nothing to fear." He nods, ready to speak, but his phone suddenly rings. One glance and he instantly blacklists the annoying number. Arthur chuckles at that, then casually adds, "Oh right, my granddaughter actually called back recently saying she is heading back to Northbrook." Hearing that, our guy secretly sighs. Looks like there is no dodging this meetup, but thinking back on these past days with the Turner family, Arthur has helped him out big time. The man already asked nicely. Walking away now would just be cold. Staying silent for a second, he finally replies, "All right then, I will stick around a bit longer." Now, meanwhile, out on the edge of the Spirit Vale Mountains, you and I won't find any ordinary civilians here. Because of an absolutely insane situation going down right now, the whole area radiates the heavy, intimidating pressure of a fully locked down military base. Thanks to a massive, extremely dangerous alien beast showing up, the total number of demon-quelling army guards actually doubled, locking the perimeter down tight. From afar, a custom military chopper tears through the sky at insane speed. The passenger inside is a heavy hitter, straight out of the capital's elite Holy Marshal Academy. Hearing those roaring rotors, a tough lieutenant colonel marches straight out of the camp. This is Cameron Stone, the exact same guy who managed the recent massive civilian evacuation effort, and get this, he is Samantha Stone's actual biological older brother. He is the proud eldest son of Northbrook's powerful Stone family, right now as captain of Vanguard Squad 72 in the demon-quelling army. This deadly catacomb falls entirely under his strict watch, as the chopper lands, revealing a striking woman in light blue uniform stepping out. Right beside her stands a young girl. Instantly, Cameron Stone recognizes her face. That young girl, it is Diana Turner, the absolute genius of the Turner family. She joined the Holy Marshal Academy 2 years ago. But why is she back here, and why exactly is she rolling with top military brass? But then again, every student at Holy Marshal is basically an elite prodigy destined to become a frontline vanguard. Building early ties with the military makes total sense. Squaring his shoulders, Cameron steps up and introduces himself. "I am Cameron Stone, the officer managing this entire zone. Are you here to inspect the catacomb?" Chloe Reed simply nods, asking as she strides forward, "Give me the current situation of this catacomb." Cameron Stone follows closely, reporting, "We initially classified it as a double S rank, but a few days back, a Grandmaster tier alien beast came out of nowhere. Occasionally, more alien beasts keep popping up. We honestly don't know the exact numbers or the Tier of their absolute strongest. Chloe Reed stops dead, staring up at the dark mountain. Range, have any spiritual type martial artists scanned the area yet? Cameron Stone shakes his head, his expression grim. No, our spiritual scanners just cannot. Pierce through from the outside, something in there is completely blocking all spiritual power. Chloe Reed scowled, her face tight. Two possibilities here, either the sheer number of alien beasts created a domain blocking spiritual power, or you and I won't like this. The beasts inside are beyond Grandmaster tier. Hearing those words, Cameron Stone tensed up completely. Past Grandmaster doesn't that mean there's true dragon-level monsters down there? Realizing how bad this was, he urgently asked, can we verify the tier right now? Because if it hits double S rank, we need immediate action. Chloe simply said, get a chopper, take me right over that catacomb. Minutes later, the helicopter was airborne, heading straight into the deep mountain range, peering down from above this catacomb, just a massive, terrifying black hole. Thick, dark smoke drifted up, giving it a totally sinister vibe. Hovering right above, Chloe's face went absolutely dead serious. This spot was way creepier than expected, sending down her spiritual power to scan it. Bam, blocked. Some invisible force pushed back. She scowled, her voice dropping. So weird, even I can't see inside. Cameron was stunned. What, even a spiritual grandmaster gets blocked? What the heck exactly is inside this catacomb? Chloe just thought, pulling her energy back. What is our highest tier martial artist stationed at this camp right now? Cameron answered grimly, level 7 Grandmaster, and that would be me. Chloe just shook her head. Grandmaster tier won't cut it. I need a great Grandmaster to dive down there with me and verify the threat level. From the inside, Cameron didn't even hesitate before shutting that down fast. Absolutely not. The threat tier is totally unknown. We sent squads in and 0 survivors. Way too risky. Even if I said yes, General May wouldn't ever allow it. Chloe let out a heavy sigh. Fine, let's head back. I'll find another angle. Back at camp, Chloe tested every trick she knew, but her energy simply could not pierce that catacomb. Every single time she reached out, some massive invisible wall just shoved her right back. She pulled her power back, frustrated. Stick with me here, guys. The only way to figure this out is definitely going straight inside. Cameron let out a tired sigh. Without any other options, I'll have to beg military headquarters for backup. But honestly, the odds of approval are terribly low. Chloe just nodded. I'm staying in Northbrook for a few days to keep trying, but honestly I am expecting the exact same failure. Cameron agreed, immediately turning to report this insane situation straight to military HQ. Chloe got to her feet. I've got other business to handle right now. Call me the second you hear back. Walking toward Spirit Vale, her student Diana Turner asked, teacher, if we never get back up, what happens to the catacomb? Chloe thought for a second. Drop massive firepower. We just bombed the catacomb to ash. Diana looked panicked. Wait, Northbrook becomes a literal war zone. It would be totally ruined for anyone living there. This was her hometown, making her anxiety spike way higher than Chloe's. Her teacher stayed perfectly calm, but her tone dropped. Exactly why we need to scan its tier from the inside and prep defenses, but military HQ might just say no. Breaking the dark mood, Chloe actually smirked. Word is your grandfather found you a potential husband. Gonna meet this guy while you're back in town. Diana blushed bright red, whispering, teacher, please stop teasing me like this. Chloe Reed laughed it off. Relax, you are a literal holy martial genius. If they are not good enough, I will personally object. Laughing, the two of them kept walking until they finally reached Spirit Vale. Soon, Chloe and Diana both stepped right into the Turner family estate. Arthur Turner was busy watering his garden plants. Hearing their footsteps, he froze, and a huge, entirely genuine smile lit up his old face. Diana, you returned. She practically sprinted over, helping him inside the main hall. Grandpa, she smiled, this right here is my instructor. She had a sudden Northbrook mission and wanted to stop by and visit. Chloe smiled politely. Hello there, old Master Turner. My name is Chloe Reed. I teach spiritual systems over at Holy Marshal. Arthur nodded, completely blown away. Looking closely at her, she was only 28 or 29, yet already a major general. But then again, his family currently hosted a way more insane military genius anyway, he asked her warmly. How is life at Holy Marshal? Getting used to everything. Has anyone caused trouble? Chloe watched quietly, totally understanding the Turner family dynamic, so she stayed perfectly silent. She left the room, hoping to take a simple walk. Suddenly, she spotted someone familiar, and old memories made her freeze instantly. Meanwhile, our guy heard the noise and wanted to go. Look, he missed Chloe standing there initially, but you know how it is. He felt someone staring. Turning around, he caught Chloe staring at him in absolute shock. He frowned, feeling this woman was vaguely familiar, but his memory was way too blurry to remember. Right away, Chloe stood perfectly frozen before finally snapping back to pure reality. Her voice actually shaking. General May, it really is you. He just frowned, looking a bit confused. Do we actually know each other? Chloe grew incredibly excited. You forgot. 6 months ago, over in the 3rd Eastern War Zone, you pulled a helicopter from the abyss. Hearing that, he thought about it. Given the exact time and place, he suddenly remembered everything. Oh, it was you, he said simply. Knew you looked familiar. 1 year ago on the Eastern Front Line, a tiny squad flying a helicopter was nearly crushed by an abyss vortex. At that exact time, our overpowered MC had just wrapped a mission and was heading home. Sensing the chaotic aura, he effortlessly saved that falling helicopter. Chloe was actually a passenger on board. She nodded with pure joy. Yes, and I never even got to properly thank you back then. He waved it off casually. Very small deal, but why are you here now? Chloe quickly explained the whole situation. He nodded. Makes sense. So the catacomb threat level is completely unknown. Chloe looked totally helpless. Exactly. Our only option now is investigating directly from the inside. Otherwise, military command might just drop literal nuclear weapons. He nodded, fully understanding the brutal consequences of going nuclear. But if you try to scout it from inside, military command will absolutely shut that down fast because the risk is way too high. He spoke without caring. If you go down there, I will gladly tag along. Chloe immediately lit up. Seriously, but then she looked pretty worried again. Should we notify the military command first? This catacomb is incredibly dangerous. He just smirked. With me right here, what are you scared of? Plus, I certainly do not represent the military command. If anyone else said that, Chloe would have completely ignored them. But this guy right here, absolute legend. Genuine golden epaulets gleamed on his shoulders. She quickly shook off her lingering those anxious thoughts. With you here, I feel totally safe. So when do we leave? He liked to move fast. Anytime. Let me inform the old master. Stepping into the grand hall, he spotted Diana Turner sitting right beside Arthur Turner. She immediately glanced toward the entrance, their eyes locked. He was momentarily stunned, but quickly looked away. Old master, I've got some business to handle outside. I'll be back shortly. Arthur Turner smiled warmly, in high spirits. Go on, just remember to come back for dinner. He gave a nod and headed out. Once he left, Arthur turned toward Diana Turner. Well, your grandfather has a pretty good eye for talent, right? Naturally, Diana Turner's face flushed red in total silence, leaving the grand estate behind. Chloe Reed and Michael geared up for the catacomb. Now watch closely. A white car parked nearby and the car door opened. Looking incredibly elegant, Lily stepped out and called softly. Michael, he frowned, totally ignored her and brushed right past. Lily reached out to grab him, but her hand stiffened, her heart trembling. She stayed entirely silent for a brief moment, then stepped forward, keeping her voice low. Michael, are you still furious with me? He shot her an absolutely freezing glare. We are complete strangers. Why would I even be mad at you? Dropping those cold words, he walked off without a single backward glance. Right then, every single excuse Lily had prepared caught in her throat, completely unable to be spoken. Just like he warned her before, they had absolutely zero ties left, and now he was fully proving it. This brutal reality made Lily's chest feel like it was being violently pierced by 1,000 needles. Completely pale, she slumped into her car, stared blindly in the direction he vanished, and slammed the gas pedal to follow him, speeding toward the deadly catacomb. Chloe noticed Lily trailing them but kept quiet. Michael pushed the whole annoying encounter entirely out of his thoughts. Following a brief moment of silence, he finally asked about the girl back at the estate. Chloe Reed replied, "That was Diana Turner, old master Turner's own granddaughter." Hearing that, Michael's expression shifted slightly. So it was actually her, but since he made a solid promise to Arthur Turner, he really didn't care, assuming she was fine with it. Cool. Catching his totally calm reaction, Chloe Reed felt confused, but honestly, why overthink it? Let's be real. When facing the abyss, our guy didn't even flinch. Before long, they arrived at the legendary demon-quelling army encampment. Cameron Stone had just reported into military headquarters, but just as expected, he got completely shut down. With circumstances so unclear, the military headquarters absolutely would not let a great Grand Master and a rare spiritual system Grand Master risk heading straight down into that catacomb. Looking completely defeated, Cameron Stone walked outside the encampment. Right then he spotted two figures walking up from outside. One of them was clearly Chloe Reed, who had just left recently. Cameron Stone's eyes sparked with hope. Had this spiritual system Grand Master actually found a loophole? He rushed forward. Chloe Reed waved her hand, her voice buzzing with excitement. "Well, did the backup finally arrive?" Cameron Stone practically sprinted over, his face shining with pure anticipation. Did the backup make it? Did the military headquarters actually dispatch a chief? Are we finally diving into the catacomb? Alongside me today, Chloe Reed instantly lowered her voice. Cameron froze, quickly glancing right behind her. A young man stood just steps away, staring intently deep into the mountain range as if tracking something hidden. Cameron Stone stood utterly stunned for a long minute. A chief this unbelievably young. Moreover, why did his face look so familiar? Did you even hear me? Hurry up and prep a helicopter to fly us over. Watching the guy dazed, he got a light kick from Chloe Reed. "I'll arrange it immediately." Startled, Cameron Stone hurried to reply, not daring to overthink the situation. Chloe Reed was already a major general, so whoever she called chief. Definitely a big deal. Looks like the military was totally ready. Squad 4. Escort both chiefs to the catacomb, Cameron Stone yelled out. Soon enough, helicopter took flight, heading deep into the mountains. As they closed in on the catacomb, our MC instantly felt massive power auras rolling off Grandmaster tier beasts. Wait, you and I know this wasn't a double S-rank zone. Otherwise, why would there be so many elite monsters? But hey, even better, he just scored another perfect chance to farm massive rewards. "Chiefs, we are here. Should we lower the altitude?" asked a frontline soldier. Our guy just glanced down, shaking his head. "No need." Without missing a single beat, he grabbed Chloe Reed and literally jumped out, diving straight into the pit, while everyone stared, absolutely stunned. "Oh my God," one soldier muttered, completely losing his mind. "He just jumped like it was nothing. Truly boss behavior," the rest of them gasped. Diving into a deadly catacomb was basically like walking through his own front door. Now that is pure main character energy. Meanwhile, Chloe Reed was absolutely terrified by his stunt, clinging to him for dear life, who knows exactly how long. They free fell before finally smashing into the floor below. The damp, pitch black space felt heavy, giving off a seriously suffocating vibe. But with a single thought, he summoned blazing fire, lighting up the entire cavern perfectly. "How is it? Can you scan the area?" He walked ahead, turning back to ask Chloe Reed. "No way," she replied, shaking her head. "This is just floor 1, spiritual power still can't pierce through. We have to go deeper." He nodded, leading her further down into the abyss. After they left, roaring flames swallowed the floor. Normally, these dungeons max out at 40 floors, and the lower you drop, the monster levels spike. Now pay attention here. Hitting the 20th floor, he stopped dead in his tracks. This place was easily triple S rank, Grandmaster tier. Monsters were already swarming floor 20. Our MC stared into the dark and said, calmly up ahead, dozens of Grandmaster beasts are looking right at us. He then stepped up, his fire aura flaring like crazy. A massive long saber materialized in his grip, and he swung hard. A vicious blade gleam flashed, sending raging fire straight into the monster pack. In literally 1 second, those terrifying beasts were sliced to ribbons, then totally reduced to ash. These so-called elite Grandmaster monsters couldn't survive a single strike from a peak great Grandmaster like him. Right then, the system chimes rang in his head. It had been way too long since he heard that sweet reward sound, but he honestly ignored it, casually putting his blade away and pushing forward. Sure, he just scored a Grandmaster level skill, but for him right now, the stat boost was basically nothing. Definitely not just this. Chloe Reed focused her mind completely. My spiritual power can finally break through. There are definitely great Grandmaster monsters down there, but they are waiting on the 30th floor. Hearing that, he frowned. Then what exactly is on floor 40, Chloe? Reed nodded back. Exactly, but we will only know their numbers and true levels if we push down 10 more floors. Finally, it made total sense why spiritual Marshal artists struggled to scan this dungeon with that intense spiritual pressure. These wild fluctuations from the 40th floor, they might be an alien tribe from a spatial rift. If true, you and I know that is a massive problem. Ever since no alien tribe had ever shown up in human cities, so let us keep going down. Our MC says, totally unfazed. Just a few great Grandmaster level alien beasts, he can handle them easily, but that 40th floor is a total mystery. Chloe Reed looks seriously worried. He reassures her, saying unless it is a Marshal Saint, they are perfectly fine. He draws his saber, completely calm. Chloe hesitates but nods and follows him deeper into the dark. Pretty soon, those Grandmaster alien beasts are totally wiped out. They hit the 30th floor, knowing things are getting dangerous. Chloe Reed unleashes her spiritual power to scan ahead while he casually wrecks the great Grandmaster alien beasts. Suddenly, she screams in panic. This catacomb exceeds triple S rank. They must retreat. Chloe Reed is completely drenched in sweat. She clearly found something terrifying down on the 40th floor. With one blinding saber flash, he cuts a beast in half and spins around. Wait, beyond triple S rank, is there a beast down there matching a true dragon martial artist? Yes, she says, but she isn't even sure it is a beast. Chloe nods, looking completely grim. Its spiritual power is just off the charts. He demands the exact numbers. His expression stone cold. With his current power level, even against a true dragon martial artist, he could definitely throw down, but Chloe just shakes her head. This whole catacomb is cursed. The spiritual energy is way stronger than a spiritual system Grandmaster. She cannot scan it right, but it is definitely triple S rank, maybe way worse. He hesitates, actually wondering if they should push even deeper. Stick with me here. From the absolute bottom, a huge black shadow erupts upward. It is dozens of meters long, like some terrifying deep-sea monster breaching the surface. It opens its massive bloody jaw, trying to swallow them completely whole. As this nightmare shadow hits, the whole catacomb shakes violently. Every single beast goes wild, rubble crashes down, and the cave ceiling is literally about to collapse. His eyes just light up. He yells for her to retreat, saying he can handle this monster, but he has to get Chloe out of there immediately. The situation down here is pure chaos. If things go wrong, he will get totally distracted. Chloe gets it perfectly, even as a high-tier spiritual system Grandmaster down here. She is not a frontline combat martial artist, plus, against a beast clearly way beyond great Grandmaster, staying just makes her a target. She takes one deep breath, aims for the cave exit before it totally caves in, and leaps Upward, our guy blasts out astral wind, throwing a powerful palm strike. This massive, pushing force blasts Chloe straight to safety, but right at that exact second, the beast's bloody jaws snap down in front of him, eating all the dead monsters on the floor, then violently retreating deep into the dark. The 30th floor goes dead silent, but after that monster showed up, every single beast above absolutely lost it. The mountain quakes and the whole cave collapses at a terrifying speed. You and I know this is bad. The alien horde is rioting. The squad up in the helicopter watches in total horror, their stomachs dropping. The two chiefs are trapped down there. Did someone call the captain for heavy backup? A terrified squad member nods, and right then, a figure explodes out of the collapsing catacomb, gripping the helicopter gear tight. A soldier shouts, "Where is the other?" Chief Chloe Reed turns to them. Her face is just absolutely ice cold. Fall back and report to base. This dungeon easily exceeds Triple S rank. The chief is still trapped down there. Tell headquarters to send backup right now. Cameron Stone freezes. He sees only Chloe. Make it back out alive. He has never seen her look this terrified before, not daring to ask questions. He sprints straight into the main camp to report. Meanwhile, inside the Grand Hall of the Northbrook military base, Simon May sits down with top demon-quelling officers. Now watch this real-time satellite feed of the catacomb. As Supreme Commander of the Demon Hunter Forces, Simon May takes this massive threat very seriously. Across the room, Division Leader hangs up his phone. Sir, bad news. The catacomb is totally unstable. Cameron Stone needs heavy demon-quelling backup right now. Even worse, a chief from Central Headquarters is still trapped inside the dungeon. Simon May demands the threat level. The commander looks incredibly grim, according to the spiritual system Grandmaster sent from headquarters. It actually goes way past Triple S rank. A dungeon of this insane level, popping up near a civilian zone, is an absolute disaster waiting to happen for Northbrook. It is a brutal test for the entire army. Hearing the threat level, Simon May actually shows a rare flash of panic. He quickly shouts his orders. Send Battle Line 379 and the 358 Division. The commander nods fast. And what about the top chief trapped down inside the danger zone? They need rescue troops fast. Simon May stays completely silent. Do we have a positive ID on them yet? No. Just someone who arrived with Chloe Reed, the commander replies nervously. Simon May sighs hard, rubbing his temples. Every war has heavy casualties. If it comes down to it, even if they order me straight into hell, I will not say a single word. No. That harsh truth leaves the entire room dead silent. Back at the frontline camp, Cameron Stone finally gets a response from Central Command and rushes to tell Chloe Reed. She absolutely loses her mind. Are you kidding? This is Northbrook Command's only brilliant plan. Do they even realize who is trapped down there? If he actually dies, the loss would be catastrophic for the entire military. But as she forces herself to breathe, she realizes their brutal logic actually makes total sense. War means unavoidable casualties. People die out here on the bloody front lines every single day. Northbrook's absolute strongest combatant is actually Commander Simon May, a peak great grandmaster. He is just inches away from the true dragon tier. Surviving a Triple S dungeon is nearly impossible for him. The only real option is begging Central Headquarters to send an elite powerhouse down here. But here is the crazy part. Even a true dragon master needs half a day just to arrive, and calling in a Marshal Saint, yeah, not happening. Cameron Stone sighs heavy. Command made the final call. I literally cannot change it now. We just pray the chief survives. Suddenly, a massive argument breaks out near the camp entrance. Madam, we are on high combat alert right now. You cannot go in. Cameron Stone glances quickly at Chloe Reed, hesitates, finally stepping outside. And guess who's waiting right there? None other than Lily, Madam of the May family, head of the May Corporation. Absolutely legendary to everyone in Northbrook. Cameron Stone steps forward, waving for his guards. To fall back, madam, this zone is combat ready. What exactly are you doing? Here, Lily peers inside, totally frantic. Looking for my son, get out. Of my way, she planned to wait for Michael's return, but with the catacomb rioting and the danger levels spiking, she just couldn't sit still anymore. Cameron Stone frowns, mentally checking who recently went inside. Her other son, Bradley May, was prepping for his martial arts exam at home, definitely not here at the front line. Lily glares right through the guard. Michael May, I am looking for him. Hearing that exact name, Cameron Stone freezes in total shock. Wait, Michael May, the eldest May family son, the guy who once had an engagement to Cameron's younger sister, but didn't he vanish 3 whole years ago? And only just come back. Cameron's face contorts into pure confusion. Michael May isn't here, madam, you've got the wrong place. But Lily completely ignores him. Storming straight in anyway, Cameron has zero choice but to chase after her, desperately advising her, madam, a battle could explode here anytime. Leave now or it will be incredibly hard to explain to General May. Lily doesn't even care. Immediately spotting Chloe Reed standing nearby, she rushes over, completely tense. Where is my boy? He was just with you, right? Those words make Cameron Stone absolutely freeze. The guy who went with Chloe Reed, wasn't that the chief? Michael May is the chief. How is that even possible? Cameron Stone vaguely recalls meeting Michael years ago at the May family estate, and get this, back then Michael looked like a broke kid from the countryside, totally lost in an unfamiliar environment, acting super timid and out of place. Cameron also heard from his sister Samantha that Michael was basically worthless to the May family back then. Cameron actually felt bad for him, but knowing his sister's future was tied to someone like Michael, that sympathy vanished fast. So how is he a chief now? Chloe Reed finally snaps back to reality, pursing her lips. Her eyes flash with a sudden realization. Before this, she only knew his military rank. She had zero clue he was the May family heir of Northbrook. If that's true, Simon May definitely can't ignore this crisis. She bites her lip, lowering her voice. He is still trapped inside the catacomb, madam, and honestly, the situation right now is looking terrible. I know you can force General May to personally hit the scene and make a call. Hearing this, Lily's face turns ghost white, still in the catacomb. That place just had a massive disturbance, triggering a full citywide emergency alert, so she knows the terrifying threat level. Hearing Michael is still stuck down there, her heart violently clenches. Have you informed Simon May yet? Cameron Stone replies, we reported it straight to the military. They ordered us to deploy suppression troops and avoid risking a rescue mission. You guys, Cameron's mind is literally spiraling into an abyss right now. Shock and pure disbelief swirl inside his head. He still can't process that the guy Chloe Reed called chief is actually Michael May. Just what rank is Michael? Exactly, Lieutenant General, a full general. He doesn't dare guess. Lily slams her hand down, breathing heavily. Give me the phone, let me make a call. Cameron gulped hard. Madam, I completely understand your feelings, but the military